Today, I'm going to be showing you how to tell if a Rubik's Cube is good or if it's bad. Let's get right into it. Now, I'm not going to be wasting any of you guys' time, so let's just get right into it. Now, how to tell if a Rubik's Cube is good or bad is not necessarily about the price or the accessories that come with it. That's the problem with what a lot of people make Rubik's Cube reviews. They care too much about the price and accessories when comparing it to other Rubik's Cubes. But in reality, if you can afford the cube, that's good enough. And if you can't afford a lot of good cubes, then either get a Dian if you want to up your budget a bit, or if you have like almost no money and you only have like a $10 bill, then just buy an RS2M. It's always good and you could set it up later. First, I'm going to be showing you an example of a good Rubik's Cube. Now, when actually taking into factors of a Rubik's Cube, what you need to consider is how it feels, how it turns, the speed, and what's inside the cube. So, let's get right into it. So, this cube is UV coated, so it obviously feels very glossy, which not a lot of you might not like because you prefer matte over UV coated. But I personally like the UV coated touch. Now, how it feels? It feels very nice in my hands, considering the fact that it's 55 millimeters and I'm only 12 years old, so my hands are relatively small compared to an average adult's hands. Now, while turning this, I know it has kind of a soft sound, but at the same time kind of clacky, which is something that you don't really see in a lot of GameCubes, where you have this more mechanical feeling. But we're just gonna get into this cube. Now, the speed, it's pretty good. I could do a double click kind of easily, but at the same time, it's not too uncontrollable. I mean, I could control this really easily, and if it ever gets too slow, I can add some DNF37 in it, which is loop. Now, what's inside the cube? Well, let's see. What you do is you can just take this apart. This is relatively a loose cube compared to other Rubik's Cubes. So if you just take this apart, it is a bit dirty, and as you can see here, we actually have a ball core, which if you get a closer look at, it's orange, and there's a bit of hair because, well, I've been using this cube for like over a year probably. And so let's see inside the edges. So this is one of the edges. Sorry, I actually dropped one. Here, let's use this one instead. Yeah, this is one of the edges, white and red. There's not any scratches. The design looks very nice, minus the dirt. But whatever. Over here, yeah, there's more dirt as well. But let's just go take a look inside. Now, take a look inside. You can see that there's magnets. That's very nice. There's magnets on both sides, which is really nice. And that's pretty much where the magnets are supposed to be for your ideal edge piece. Now, these pieces, all these pieces just by itself, with the 12 edge pieces and the 8 corner pieces, they will have a total of 48 magnets. Usually, that's how much there is in a good Rubik's Cube. For example, in a corner, there will be 3 magnets, which is a lot, considering the fact how edge magnet only has 2. But considering the fact that this edge piece there's 12 of these edge pieces in this Rubik's Cube and only 8 corner pieces. So in reality, when we compare the amount of magnets in the edge pieces compared to the corner pieces, it's actually a perfect 24-24 ratio. So you can just put this back, and now I'm just gonna put this back together. Now I'm gonna be showing you an example of a bad Rubik's Cube. So here we are. This is considered a bad Rubik's Cube. Well, don't mind the missing white center because I lost it in like an airplane where I dropped it in like the middle of a crack and I couldn't get it out because my hands are just so fat. Now, this cube, it feels very bad. Well, mine is a white center. And I don't really like matte cubes. I only prefer matte cubes if they're 5x5 and above. The only exception being my Vin 5x5. But as you can see here, this is very low quality. I mean, it just feels like hard plastic. The corners are kind of sharp. The matte corners feel a lot more sharp than the UV corners because of the glossiness. Now, turning it has a very dry turning experience. Now, keep in mind this is a budget cube, but if you were to actually use this as a main, that would be one of the biggest mistakes you ever made. Unless if you either lost a bet on somebody with a friend, or this is your only cube. Now, I don't really like this cube. It's very, very, very dry. It's not fast at all. I single-handedly cannot perform a double flick. Well, I can perform a double flick, but I physically cannot do a U2 with just one flip. And whenever I do try to do that, my finger gets hurt. Now, let's take a look inside. This one is a bit hard to get out because look at the finger. Look how long that is. Golly. Here's a corner, and that looks disgusting. Look at that. Now, we'll take a look at the actual core. There's nothing wrong with the core. It's just that most of this is just made of plastic. There's actually entirely no magnets in this cube. Like, look at that. There's no magnets. None of the corners either. Oh, would you look at that? I accidentally put this on the wrong way. My bad. And there's pretty much none, and there's no in the corners either because, well, why would you even have magnets in the corners if you don't have any in the edges? Now, I could just add magnets to this, but I'd rather just get a cube that actually has magnets and is cheap, like an RS3M. That only costs like $9, and it has magnets. And is that as if that couldn't get any worse? Look at this. This is just a screw. There's no adjustment system. And the only way to actually adjust this cube is by using like a medieval screw that you get from like old Moyu packaging. Now, this is a sign of a very bad Rubik's Cube, but even though this is only like $3 in India, I personally would not buy this cube under any circumstances, unless if you were trying to get a very bad gift for your friend and you're like really ham a lot. So I'm just gonna take this apart. In fact, this thing is not even worth taking apart. This thing just sucks in general. Now, of course, some different rules apply for other cubes. Like for example, 5x5, you're not realistically gonna take apart an entire cube to see the core, because that would just end bad. But you can still turn it to see how it feels. And this cube is UV coated, which I don't really like UV coated 5x5s a lot, but this one is an exception because, well, I just love VinCube. And even though this is fast, it is a bit tight whenever I'm turning it. Whenever I go to competitions with this cube, I always lock up, and I don't really get a lot of fast times because of that. But now I do, so that's good. Now, of course, there's also 2x2. Now, 2x2, I really recommend UV coating because in 2x2, the cube is so small, it's always going to fall off your hands. Now, as you can see here, we have sort of adjustment system, but you don't really see a lot of adjustment systems in 2x2, so this is an exception for such a simplistic adjustment. So the actual turning of this cube is extremely fast, which is what I like. It's a Moyu cube, but even though it is Moyu, and Moyu makes a really good budget cube, this cube is single-handedly $40. I would not like to spend $40 on this. I'd rather just get a GAN. But either way, it's still really nice. Now, of course, there are some other puzzles, so you can just follow the same advice I did for all the other cubes. But now, I'm going to be showing you the different types of cubes that you should buy depending on your turning style. Turning style can actually be the leading factor to getting a 10-second time on a Rubik's Cube and a 20-second time, depending on which cube you get. So let's say you decided that you are like really unstable and you're always popping pieces, and all in all, if you were to just like do elements on a GAN cube, just like always lock up and corner twist all of them, try getting something like a Diane. It's controllable. It's really good for cubers that have uncontrollable turning. It doesn't corner as easily because of its sharp edges. Well, this also has sharp edges, but it locks up a lot. This one barely locks up. It has really good corner cutting and reverse corner cutting. It turns fast, but not too fast. And all in all, it would be a really good cube. Now, the Diane Tangyun V2, which is this cube, is personally a cube that I think could actually fit all cubes. It can fit somebody that's fast because, well, it is very controllable. It can fit somebody that's slow because this cube is still quite fast. It can fit somebody that corner twists a lot because cube is very hard to quarter twist. Well, not very hard, but it's hard to quarter twist it. And this cube is also very good for some more controllable people because that's not the controllable field, and that way they can turn faster on it while knowing that they won't probably pop it if they were to turn faster and more uncontrollable. Now, of course, this won't always be the case. Like, let's say you are controlled, you turn pretty controllably, and you think that the Dian is just not your type. It's too blocky, and you prefer something more premium that sounds more mechanical. Well, basically, I'm trying to reference the GAN, but the GAN is really good in circumstances. If I didn't have my main cube as Dian, I'd probably use this one. This is a GAN 15, but I suggest getting the GAN 12. It's just the GAN 12 is such a good cube. I've been fairly fast on this, but I am kind of a reckless turner, so I am going to lock up a couple of times, so that's why this turning looks a bit clumsy. And there's a Rubik's Speed, which doesn't really work in a lot of ways, but at the same time, why would you even get a Rubik's Speed if it's not just because of its low price? I mean, unless if you have like a very low budget, then I suggest you get this cube because it's only like $15. But well, don't mind this part. I just sort of put it on there because I wanted to. I got this sticker in like a competition, but I'm not gonna talk about it. It's just a My Little Pony reference. Anyways, yeah, it's literally a Rubik's Cube. Rubik's Speed. It's the new Rubik's Cube that came out, and you could get this if you want to. It's just that you're definitely gonna have to move it and possibly tighten it because it's kind of tight. And even though it does turn very fast, a very fast cube with it being also tight is a very bad combo, as I suggested in other cubes. Now, I actually made an entire review on this cube. You should really go check that out down here. But at the same time, you can also just go to my YouTube channel and find it. I think it's the first one that I ever published. It has 18 views, and I suggest you watch it because it's a really good video that I put a lot of work into. Now, I'm not gonna be glazing my own videos because that's just stupid. I'm here to talk about how you can tell the difference between good cubes and bad cubes. But I think I said enough already because, well, I already demonstrated how a good cube is. Fast, yet not too fast. Fit to your turning style, and also it has good features in the inside which can make it more controllable or more fast depending on how you like it. And then I demonstrated how a bad cube would be, which has nothing in the inside, making it purely based on the outside feel, on how the outside is. I don't really want to put this back together, but I think you get the idea already. This cube is absolutely booty hole because, well, there's no UV coating, so it's gonna slip out of your hands. It has a really weird feel. When you turn it, that has a really weird sound. It's not even close to fast, and it's absolutely no adjustment settings. Which, by the way, that's another thing I should mention: adjustment settings. If you have any sort of adjusting, like a screw, then that's somewhat okay, but I really suggest that you get something like this, where it has a dual adjustment system, or you can just get like a mono adjustment system, and that's fine enough for you. And anyways, like I said before, that's really all I have to add. I've been recording for about like 10 or 15 minutes now. That's probably how long the video is gonna be, so I don't want to make this video too long. Anyways, I'll see you guys the next time. Make sure you like and subscribe because I really appreciate it. And once I get to 50 subscribers, I'm actually gonna start a Discord server where you guys can just chat, and I'll tell you when I post new videos, or who knows, maybe I'll make an alt account. Also, I'm actually gonna do something special on Pi Day, but I don't really know what it is yet. So, according to my calculations, it's about 2 days until Pi Day. Pi Day's on Friday, but do you know what else starts with 2? Euler's number. But that's another irrational number, but it's not pi. I shouldn't make that pi joke like a day ago because that's when I could say that Pi Day would be 3.14159265535. Like I said, make sure you like and subscribe. It really helped me, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.